Sports Sound.
What a goal!
Live football commentary online at BBC Sports Scotland.
A very good evening from a bitterly cold Falkirk Stadium as the champions visit the newly promoted Bairns, who sit proudly in the top six as they welcome the champions here for the first time in almost 16 years. Robbie Keane was on the score sheet the last time Celtic played in this ground. Back in March 2010, he scored twice, in fact 2-0. Tony Mowbray was the Celtic manager just a couple of weeks before he was sacked after that 4-0 loss in Paisley. As the two captains down below us, so the match referee, who tonight is John Beaton, go through the formalities. Callum McGregor and Brad Spencer on either side of the halfway line there. So not long to go until this one gets underway. We will keep tabs with what's going on at Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin is there. It's John Collins and Tony Docherty alongside me, Liam McLeod, for the first half here under the lights. The drizzly rain sweeping across the ground down below us. We're right at the back of the main stand here, off to the left of the halfway line. In fact, I am pretty much bang level with the 18-yard line, which was the edge of the box that Celtic will be defending in this first half as they go left to right, attacking the Kevin McAllister stand. Falkirk will shoot north in the navy blue and white with the red socks, Celtic in the green and white hoops. And we are on the opposite side of the stadium from where the TV cameras are housed here as Celtic kick off the match. It's a roll back to Arojo on this near side, infield to Trusty, who finds Scales. Bain in goal for Falkirk, Lisa, Alan Henderson and McCann, Spencer, Tate Miller, Yates and Wilson either side of Barney Stewart, who had the first half of the season on loan at Dunfermline, but he did pretty well. 8 goals in 12 appearances for the Pars, who are great rivals to Falkirk, but it was a productive loan spell. He's back for the second half of the season through the ranks here, and it's back with Scott Bain, who's got a free kick for offside. Celtic with Schmeichel in goal, Arojo, Trusty, Scales and Tierney, Engels, McGregor, Nygren, Yang, Tinekti and Maida. Can Falkirk cause Celtic problems? They've caused just about everyone else problems this season as Arojo picks up on the near side. The Celtic convincing winners in the 2 meetings in Glasgow this campaign, one in the League Cup, one in the Premiership. And they scored 4 times in each occasion as Trusty rolls it out here to Arojo on the artificial surface. It's a long ball down the right there, looking for Yang, who couldn't quite control, bounces off his knee, eventually goes out of play for a Falkirk throw-in on this near side. Celtic, they were excellent against Dundee United, though the Tangerines were poor on Saturday. Can Falkirk provide more of a test? Tony Docherty.
Yeah, I think they can, and just looking at the way the teams are shaping up, the one change that Falkirk have made is Yates is going to play in the middle of the pitch, and they're playing, it's very much a match-up with both teams in there, so he comes in for Cartwright and Wilson comes onto that wide right role in a 4-3-3, and Celtic playing the way they were with 2 running 8s and Engels and Nygren coming in now. I think again, as I said, it's going to be intriguing, but Falkirk have settled quite well. You know, Celtic have done their usual, they've been quite cavalier, and you see them now attacking
it away
again.
Falkirk, and now it's Yang attacking the Bairns box. He's into it now, rolls it along the 18-yard line when it's blocked and cleared, and that, John, is where Falkirk are going to have to be very careful tonight. They do like to play the ball around, and it's going to have to be in the right areas, and if it's in the wrong areas, they're going to have to get it better than that. We'll get to John in a moment because Celtic are back on it. Right-hand side of the box, Yang pulls it across, and it's battered out of play for a Celtic throw-in. John Collins.
Typical Celtic, they want Callum McGregor on the ball. Interesting, straight away Falkirk, like most teams in the league, try and put somebody on him and stop him dictating the play, but he's got such terrific movement, he always manages to get in possession of the ball.
Celtic in possession with Tinekti wide on the left-hand side, being closed down by Lisa. Scored that winner against Aberdeen recently, and then over on the right-hand side, Kyle Wilson loses out. The Falkirk fans are upset with the decision to award Celtic the free kick level with the edge of the centre circle, but it's picked up now by Liam Scales just to the left of that, and then down the line it goes, and it's a first-time ball to the left-hand side of the box, low ball across, which the former Celtic keeper Bain clutches on his 6-yard line. It is goalless here at the Falkirk Stadium, and we've played 3 minutes.
And I think that'll be a feature. You see Nygren making that run there, that half-space run down the side, being a running 8, and I think that'll be a feature of Celtic's play tonight.
Ball's played into the midfield and helped on its way there by Dylan Tate up to the halfway line, but it breaks to Kieran Tierney on the left of the centre circle, and he rolls it forward to Nygren and gets it back immediately under pressure from Stewart. Back with Tierney, works it to the left for Tenekte and back to Scales. He'll then turn it to his right for Austin Trusty. Taking up towards the halfway line, forward to Maida, nicks it out to Arojo, making his second start since his loan move from Bournemouth. Forward to Engels, who dinks it to the right of the centre circle for McGregor, kills it in the chest with the left foot out to the gloved Tenekte. Now he has got a little bit of space to work in here as he tries to take on his man. It's a really good recovery by Kyra Wilson, and he smashes the ball clear with the right foot all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel, who had that loan here in 2007 from Manchester City, and was part of the Bairns side the last time they beat Celtic, and victories over Celtic have been like hen's teeth. That's their only one since the Scottish Cup semi-finals in '97. That's a good switch for Celtic, out to Yang wide in the right. Arojo right of the box, crosses in, it's way too deep, and it sails behind for a goal kick, and it will stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 0, as it is at Tynecastle in the early stages there. John.
Terrific diagonal pass there from Scales to Yang. Araujo getting there in a good position. You're expecting quality in the box, poor delivery. But I've been quite impressed with Araujo. He's good in the ball, wants to get forward, playing with lots of confidence. But again, when you get in that final third, it's all about quality delivery.
He's put straight in for his first start against United on Saturday by O'Neill, as it's one of the midfields, an up and under down the right from Finn Yates, but it sails out into touch for a Celtic throw-in. It's a bit level with the edge of the D of his own box, and it's Tierney who's over it. Falkirk have won their last two matches. They've kept clean sheets in both of them. It's an impressive 2-0 win in Paisley at the weekend, so John McGlynn will be hoping that his team can build on that. It's down there with a baseball cap on in the right hand technical area. Martin O'Neill, arms folded to the left. Yang here for Celtic, infield to Engels, back out to Arojo. First time down the line for Engels again, level with the Falkirk 18-yard line. Good play by Calvin Miller, the former Celtic youngster, to win it back though, and Falkirk sweep the ball clear. Trusty with a little cushion header for McGregor. So often the metronome of the Celtic side. Plays it back to the edge of the centre circle for Scales, and then to Tierney, and down the left hand side for Sebastian Tenekte. Back to Tierney at the byline, puts the cross in, it's blocked, comes back off him last, and behind for a Falkirk goal kick. It is 0-0.
Celtic starting to control it, dominating possession as you would expect, trying to get it to the wide players, full-backs overlapping, trying to get to that byline for cutbacks. I think Falkirk will be most vulnerable when they're actually pushed up. See, when that back four's pushed up, that's when you've got to watch Maeda. He's not so good linking up with the play back to goal, but his pace, getting in behind those central defenders, just watch the one or two passes over the top for him to use his pace.
Everyone within Falkirk is expecting them just to continue playing the way they'd like to play, and that might come through to Stewart here. Is he on or off? He's right hand side of the box, he shoots early. It's a comfortable take for Kasper Schmeichel. There was no flag, and it's Celtic playing it out quickly to this right hand side for Yang. Excellent run by Barney Stewart in behind there, and it almost paid off for him as the long ball from Yang for Maida is cut out there by a couple of Falkirk defenders. Henderson in the way of that one, and it will stay nothing each. But that's a real warning for Celtic. That's what Falkirk can do. They can play Tony Docherty, those penetrating passes from the midfield in behind for the striker.
They've got very good technical players in the middle of the pitch, and Yates, Tate and Spencer, and that's what they'll do. You know, any opportunities they get, Barney Stewart offers his selling behind, and it was a really fantastic run there and a good pick out, and just unfortunate, but it's a shot on target for Falkirk, so I think they'll take a lot of confidence for that, and you see them on the ascendancy at the moment as well.
Celtic in possession with McGregor on the left to Tierney, out onto the touchline, infield to Scales, and now with Trusty. Trusty strides up towards halfway and then turns it to his right low to Arojo and on to Yang on this near side. He's got Engels ahead of him. It's well cut out though there by Leon McCann, and out for a throw into Celtic on this near side, which Julian Arojo is over right in front of the Falkirk technical area. It's the Mexican born in California who takes the throw, finds Maida out to Yang, and then back into the midfield for McGregor, who gets the area to stretch to nicking ahead of Yates as it's picked up by Trusty, who then flashes it to that left-hand side. As Celtic look to launch another attack. Tierney down the left to Tenecti, changing pace, gets the byline, gets the cross in, it's headed up into the air. There, towards the corner flag by Connor Allen. Celtic come again, Tenecti comes again, down towards the byline, he goes down, it goes behind the byline and behind for a goal kick. And it will stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 0.
Very positive from Celtic in the wide areas. You can tell the message from the managers: when you get the ball, don't pass it back to fullbacks. Wingers go and take the fullback on, try and get to the byline, get crosses at the box.
Falkirk have it on this left-hand side with McCann taking on Yang, moving in field, square ball into the midfield, and it's flashed out to the right-hand side for Lisa. Rolls it forward, looking to try and get in behind again. Or Falkirk with Kyle Wilson in field to Miller, and then shifts it to this left-hand side for McCann. He's had it pinched off him though by Yang, who's then run the ball out of play. And a throw into Falkirk on this near side.
Yeah, and John's talking there about Celtic's wide players. Lisa and McCann are going to be tested tonight, but it just shows you, on that transition, they want to play as well, they can get it side to side, and that was an opportunity. I'm really impressed with the young kid, Lisa, playing it right back. Had a fantastic game against Aberdeen. The other week they scored the goal, but a really strong game. But he's certainly going to have to watch tonight, because Celtic's strength is in the wide areas.
Yeah, he has done well. Lisa, he's on loan from Swansea. Took a little bit of time to break into the starting 11, but he's looking at keeping his place out there at right back.
Young kid that was at Chelsea, and on loan from Swansea. And I think really good recruitment from Falkirk, bringing in a young, talented, hungry player who, as I say, watching him in the game against Aberdeen recently, was a real positive for them.
There's Callum McGregor for Celtic, rolling it low to this right-hand side for Arojo. Strides across the halfway line, out to Yang, and just twists away from McCann and gets it behind the fullback. Now it's Arojo, level with the 18-yard line, infield to Engels. Now it's with Trusty. Square ball to Scales, everyone bar Kasper Schmeichel's in the Falkirk half right now. Scales out to the left-hand side. Chance here for Celtic with Tenecti, though it's won back well by Falkirk over there, and good battling. A couple of the Bairns players. Celtic win it back. Here's McGregor, who finds Trusty, central position to his right for Arojo. Out to the right touchline for Yang. And back to Arojo, level with the edge of the centre circle, and into it for Trusty. And they will come again down that far side. It's a long ball from Scales. Maida with the looping headers over the bar, and almost outfoxed his old teammate Bain there as it lands on the roof of the net, over the bar. Goal kick Falkirk, goalless at the Falkirk Stadium. And McCann's gone down on this near side, and it will be a Falkirk free kick. It was a good bit of intuition there from Dyson Maida, John.
Yeah, he's seen the ball over the top. It was actually a very good header. It was like headed it backwards, and it was just over the bar. But I think it was Scales played the through ball. Was it Scales?
It was Scales, and it's a typical Maeda run, and that's what Celtic do. They suffocate you when they're in possession. They keep you in that half, and that's when you find the wee darting runs, as you were saying earlier on, John. Maeda is a real threat.
Falkirk playing it out from the back. They've done it well so far. It's swept up the line down that far side, but Celtic will come again. Seeing a lot of the ball here are the visitors, as Tierney manages to win it back on the left-hand side after Falkirk had managed to take control momentarily. It's with Scales in the halfway line, rolls it into the centre circle for Trusty.
I mean, when Celtic lose the ball, their attitude to win it straight back is superb. Which is worse for the opposition.
That was something that perhaps wasn't there under the previous incumbent.
It was lacking the intensity. They did it, but not with this kind of intensity we're seeing tonight and now.
Yeah, here goes Tenecti, wonderful run into the box at the byline, pulls it back well, and it's cleared by Spencer out to the right-hand side, where it's knocked up the line, and that'll be a free kick for a foul by Scales on Stewart, just inside the Falkirk half. They've taken it quickly. It's a big ping ball out to the left for McCann, but the ref wasn't ready, and they'll have to retake that one. Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. It remains goalless.
Good play from
Tynecastle as well.
Getting that foul, pinning Scales, gets his team a little breather. Can they get some possession now? John McGlynn will be thinking, let's get some passes in, get a little rest with the ball.
Well, keeping possession brings that confidence, doesn't it? Yeah. And I think Barney Stewart will be a really important player. It's difficult, Falkirk, here, because they're working against the ball. So difficult. It's then when you retain possession, it's having that that kind of fire and ice thing. It's having the coolness to keep possession, get a control and work it up the pitch.
Yeah, Dylan Tate's playing well up there on the right hand side, just ahead of Lisa. We were giving Lisa some praise earlier, but Dylan Tate has done some good defensive work in the early exchanges of this one. The match is 13.5 minutes old as Trusty picks up on the near side and rolls it out to Arojo, and then turns away from Miller facing his own goal, rolls it back to Trusty, and he will use Kasper Schmeichel. And to his left for Scales. Incredible, I think it's almost 20 years since Schmeichel was here on loan. And Scales stabs it out to Tierney on the touchline.
You've got to give a mention of a big buddy, Yogi Hughes, identified a young goalkeeper. How many managers give teenagers a first team? Very, very few.
To be fair to John...
Only took you 13 minutes taking that in, John.
He's my pal, come on.
To be fair to John Hughes, he had a wonderful time here at Falkirk. What an exciting team he had as well. I remember Anthony Stokes got his big chance here as Celtic come forward down the right with Yang, and it's just trickled away in behind the byline. Goal kick will go to Falkirk's way.
I remember Yogi here, the player, under Ian McCall, and what a fantastic, the punters love him here. And you remember that cup win against Hearts that big Yogi was instrumental in, and so he's got a bit of a fan club here.
Yeah, well, I remember the interview Maurice Johnston was doing, and he made an appearance in the background as well. That's from down in folklore, but the less said about that interview, the better. Good evening, John, if you're listening. Falkirk in possession here. Spencer right of the centre circle, and turning it to the right-hand side for the right centre-back, Connor Allen, who collects again and rolls it all the way back to Bain, just outside his box. Turns it to the left for Henderson. It's one of the many players still in the Falkirk squad that were part of the side that won the third-tier title 2 seasons ago. Celtic pick up a throw-in on the near side, but I think everyone in the main stand thought that should have gone the other way, not just because they're Falkirk fans, because I think Tony Docherty was suggesting that should have been a Falkirk ball in an attacking position.
A definite Falkirk throw-in here. I think John Beaton was just unsighted, but maybe he could get help there by his linesman or the fourth official to help, because it was undoubtedly in the final third. These things are important. It would give Falkirk a chance to get a little bit of control from a throw-in, but wasn't to be.
Yeah, Maida's passed the ball straight out of play anyway, so it comes to nothing, albeit Falkirk were on the cusp of the attacking third at that moment. Leon McCann over the throw-in on this near side, former Airdrie player, and he gets it back from Spencer as captain, and to McCann, who switches it left to right to that right side for Lisa, steps away from Tinekti, driving forwards, a fabulous run, knocks it through to Stewart at the edge of the box. Scales makes the challenge, the loose ball pops to Yang, but the tireless Calvin Miller wins it back, looks up at the Celtic box, left foot cross comes in, and it's blocked there by Trusty, and Celtic get it away. Good little spell for Falkirk this.
Yeah, after a difficult start, Celtic on top, they're really grown into the game at the moment. And again, mentioning young Lisa there, that was a brilliant run, coming forward, showing real composure and an intelligent pass into Barney Stewart.
Yeah, he carries the ball very well. Heads up, as he's carrying up, the defenders driving forward, their head down at the ball. His head was up, he was looking for that pass, that run in front of him.
Yeah, confident young player, only 21-year-old, but a confident young player, and again, good recruitment with Falkirk to bring in that type of player.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's recruitment has to be spot on, but particularly when you don't have too much money, as the Koros comes in for Falkirk towards the back post and just bobbles off Calvin Miller, I think, in behind for the goal kick, and it will stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. It was an outstanding ball in from the right.
It was terrific delivery. You're just asking one of your players to go and attack it. Perfect height as well.
Again, it's Lisa showing great composure. I think he started off as a young kid at a centre-half at Chelsea, but obviously very good in the ball. But again, that was another example of just great composure and use of the ball.
Arojo with the cushion header. Here's Engels driving across halfway. There's been a development in Tynecastle. We'll get to it after this attack fizzles out. Engels to Yang. It's blocked, and Falkirk win it back through McCann on the near side. Brian McLaughlin at Tynecastle.
Still 0-0, Leon, but Hearts for the second game in a row down to 10 men. Benny, this time shown a red card by a referee, Kevin Clancy. Initially it was a yellow. He was asked to go and have a look. It was for a challenge on Roland Odowu, around 30 yards out from goal. It was a rash challenge, it was high, and I think the right result has been certainly coming for Benny Bedingame. He's off the park. Hearts down to 10 men, and it's still Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
Oh, Derek McInnes, he had all those red cards when he was at Kilmarnock last season. That's 2 in 2 games for him after Schwolo's red card at Dens on Sunday. They got even longer to contend with it tonight. At least that one came late on in the first half, but they defended superbly well. It's a different game for them tonight at home against St Mirren. So the league leaders dealt a blow, not in the shape of a goal, but they are down to 10 as Trusty nicks it back towards Schmeichel, and it's bounced back off Wilson there, who was putting the pressure on big time. Celtic been a little bit fortunate at times. They went a little bit too long at the back.
I mean, you're looking at Trusty and it's like he's just switched off completely.
Down the left-hand side comes Celtic with Tenecti, but it's blocked by Lisa and out for a Celtic throw-in midway inside Falkirk territory. It remains 0-0 here as it is in Edinburgh. As you were hearing from Brian, St Mirren got a little shot in the arm with the news that Hearts are down to 10, Benny Beningame sent off.
Yeah, Hearts facing more adversity, but if you've seen them, you know, the character of the side on Saturday, they absolutely dealt with that, real resilience about them, and they'll need to do that again tonight, so be a big test for them.
Yeah, a different test. I'm not sure St Mirren will be throwing everything at it at this early stage in proceedings, but anyway, Brian will keep us up to date with what's going on there as Calvin Miller comes driving down the left. Good challenge this time by Trusty, but they've taken the quick throw in, giving Celtic a taste of their own medicine. Arojo with the challenge on this near side as Falkirk try and work something. Yates back down the line to Miller, blocked by Trusty. Yates continuing to play, the ref's not interested in any appeals. Yates goes to ground, ball won by Engels, comes off Yates last and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. Celtic started pretty well. The opening 10 minutes belonged to them. I'd suggest the last 10 minutes have belonged to Falkirk.
Yeah, Falkirk are getting control of the ball. You can see the confidence. They're really, really good at building out for the back. This wide pitch is made for building out the back. If you've got players that are making good angles, and the goalkeeper's good with his feet, Bain, spending so much time at Celtic, he's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. There's a lot of work for Maeda to do. They're trying to take the juice out of Maeda's leg, building at the back.
Celtic throw in then, level with the 18-yard line of their own penalty area. Arojo stolen a few yards. You can hear the Falkirk fans in the background. Arojo plays head tennis with Engels and gives it away, and now it's Spencer. Now the referee gives Falkirk the free kick. The foul on Stewart there just to the left of the box, and this is in a fabulous position, in fact a relatively similar position, perhaps closer to the 18-yard line from where they scored the free kick against Aberdeen. It was a Lisa header from that set play, but certainly a chance to cause carnage in that Celtic defence.
They're definitely grown into the game, and you can see this stadium here, the synergy between the players and the fans. They're getting right behind them, and you're right, they look the most dominant team at the moment, and they've got a real opportunity to take the lead in this game for the free kick.
Top 6 Falkirk, of course, and they've got 2 over the Spencer and Miller. Miller takes it, left foot, chips a good one right into the 6-yard area, and Tierney batters it away as it fell to his feet. Swings his left foot at it, puts it out for a Falkirk throw-in level with the Celtic penalty spot over on the Falkirk right.
That was the perfect execution of a free kick. Exactly the right height, the right pace, just dying to be headed in.
It's bent in a beautiful area, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Stays 0-0 though. Falkirk in possession. It's another ping ball in the area, another good ball, headed away by Trusty. Yang's header gets to about 18 yards. It's headed back into the box by Spencer. There's a shout for handball from the Falkirk supporter. Celtic get it away, it's only half clear. There's a shot from distance which Schmeichel holds on to. It was a decent enough hit that by Philip Lisa. He was from about 25 yards as well. He got plenty behind it, plenty zip in it, but Schmeichel holds on and it stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. Big test for the champions again here.
Yeah, and Falkirk, you know what, I think a real example there of Falkirk's bravery. The ball comes out to Brad Spencer there, and he just cushions it back into an area and keeps Celtic under pressure, and it comes out and they get a shot on target, and they're showing real bravery at the moment, the Falkirk team, and taking the game to Celtic, and you know, at the moment they look the dominant team.
Yeah, they've had an excellent spell in proceedings. They're having an excellent season of it. It wouldn't be the first time a team's been promoted from the Championship and gone into the top 6, as Mr. Doherty points out that this Dundee team did likewise, as that ball goes down the right hand side of the Falkirk box. A good challenge though, puts it behind off Yang last, and it will be a Falkirk goal kick. But to be sitting 6th, you consider the resources here at Falkirk, you consider that against the likes of Dundee United and perhaps Aberdeen in particular, given the money that they've spent to be sitting 8th in the table. It's a remarkable job that John McGlynn's done. There's another ball in behind. Tierney struggling here. Down the right-hand side, chance for Falkirk. Tierney can't get back. Big opportunity. Oh, it's wide. Oh, it's wide. What a chance it was, and what a superb run from Wilson. He beat Tierney, all ends up into the box, right-hand side of it. The goal is gaping in front of him, and somehow he slices it wide, and it stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. The chance of the game.
Worrying from Celtic's point of view. He left Tierney for dead. There's no many players can do that.
I think that's the reason for John's selection, playing Wilson in that wide area and bringing Yates into the middle of the pitch. Just as you've seen there, he's got outstanding pace there, and you're right, John, he just left Tierney for dead there, and really unfortunate. I thought he was going to slide it underneath Schmeichel, but he come in and elected to take it in his left foot and just went over the bar. But listen to the crowd now.
It's a layoff for Celtic. Now, I said it before. We said it before the game. This was not an easy game because of the style of play. Falkirk make you work to get the ball back.
For me, yeah,
with no fear.
It's the bravery. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the bravery. They're all comfortable in possession. There's a trust between the players. Look at them now. They're stealing the ball back off Celtic, keeping it in good areas, working it up the pitch, having a trust in each other, and yeah, they're doing really well.
I've seen a fair bit of Falkirk this season. This is as good as they played. This is outstanding football. Great pressing when they're not on the ball. When they are on it, they're causing Celtic no end of problems. 25 on the clock. It stays nothing each, as it is at Tynecastle between Hearts and St Mirren. Though Hearts had Benny Beningame sent off in the game through in Edinburgh. It's a long ball for Falkirk towards Barney Stewart. Was he just offside? He's chasing it. Scales is the covering defender, slides in and puts it out for a throw-in, but there is the offside flag against Brodie. Stewart up front there, Barney Stewart rather, as he tried to make a nuisance of himself, and Scales stood his ground well in the end, but it doesn't matter because the flag went up in any case. And it stays 0-0 here, Tony, but it's a very intriguing game here, and Martin O'Neill knows he's in a battle to get points out of this.
Yeah, you can see that. You know, it's definitely Falkirk are the better team the last 10-15 minutes. Celtic are just not getting McGregor on the ball enough, and the tactic employed by Falkirk is Barney Stewart's dropping onto him and leaving the two centre-backs in possession, and two left-sided centre-backs. I think they're struggling to work the ball up the pitch at the moment. Celtic need to get McGregor on the ball to start getting more control of the game.
How concerned are you if you're Martin O'Neill right now, John?
I think you're a little bit worried. You've lost control of the game. They've probably created the better chances in the game, but the good news is it's still 0-0 for Celtic. But I think that they've got to get more. I think Maeda, that's when he's at his worst.
They're giving it away, and there's another opportunity. Stewart's in, and his side foot shot saved by Schmeichel, who holds on.
What you don't want from Maeda is him coming towards the game. He's not got an awareness what's behind him. He doesn't look over his shoulder, as I say, scan and check. He's somebody just that runs in behind. So they've got to be very careful playing it to his feet in those central areas.
The thing is, Tony, Barney Stewart's now going to be wondering if he's going to get a better opportunity again in this match.
Yeah, I thought he was going to give Schmeichel the eyes there and go kind of reverse and go down the bottom corner, but again, it's credit to Falkirk. They're the ones that are now suffocating the game, and Maeda's getting frustrated. He's coming towards the ball, and as you say there, John, it's not his strength, it's not his forte. So, you know, Celtic in possession give it away, and on the counter, Barney Stewart finds himself 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and that is a real opportunity to go and take the lead in the game.
Falkirk have been excellent for the last 15 minutes, but here comes Celtic down the right of the Falkirk box. Engels with the cross ball. It's cut out by Henderson and behind for the corner.
It's not often you get 2 or 3 chances against Celtic in a 20-minute period at home.
And I'm talking about Martin O'Neill being concerned. John McGlynn will be equally concerned about that.
That's the worry for John's point. We're thinking we've got to take these chances. We've seen it before.
That's it, because right away that bit of quality play for Celtic there, they forced a corner, and it can go from dominant nothing each to 1-0 down.
Well, there's an opportunity for Celtic, and some much needed respite as well. They've been under the cosh. Engels will take outswinger with the right foot, and it is a good delivery. It just skips off the top of the head of Trusty. Tenecti at the left angle of the box is lost out to Wilson, who's on his bike again, driving Falkirk up the pitch here. Fabulous play by Kyle Wilson. Slips it through to Miller. He's got McCann to his left. McCann's in, chance for Falkirk, and then he makes a complete hash of his shot. Wow, what a break that was from the Bairns from one end to the other. It was a Celtic corner. It ends up being another opportunity for Falkirk. A fourth of the match for them. It stays though, Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. That was lightning.
And again, it's the pace of Wilson. You know, that's obviously why John's put him in the team tonight, that counter-attacking threat that he's got. But equally, Calvin Miller getting up and supporting, McCann getting up behind it as well. It's brilliant play from a corner, defending a corner, they end up with a shot on target, and it's just down to that athleticism and counter-attacking pace. And they're unlucky again not to get that first goal.
Some real warning shots fired at Celtic here tonight at the Falkirk Stadium as Tierney comes forward and slips it to his left for Tenekti. Maida making his way into the box, as is Yang. It's Tenekti with the step overs, level with the penalty spot. Little dink ball into the box. It's Engels, his efforts blocked, breaks back to McGregor, the edge of the area. Square ball for Arojo. And then infield to Trusty. Again, everyone bar Schmeichel in the Falkirk half. Celtic of the Bairns camped in here. And it's a little 1-2. Tenekti goes back after it towards the byline. It's put behind for the corner rather than what could have been a more dangerous situation for the home team. And it will be a Celtic corner over on that left-hand side. And Arne Engels is trotting out there to take it. No goals here yet. None at Tynecastle either.
There's nothing better for a manager when you know you've got pace, that you can go from that defensive position. 2 seconds later you're up the park running beyond Celtic's 2 central defenders, and it's great for the supporters as well.
It is, it's brilliant play, counter-attack.
Well, it's Engels with an in-swinger from the other side this time. Maida with the header down, Bain with the save. Didn't know too much about it. Maida headed it down. He was a little bit too free for John McGlynn's liking. Yeah. Bain threw out the left hand and makes the stop, and it stays 0-0.
Yeah, I think it was McCann picking him up at the back post there, which for me is a bit of a mismatch.
Wilson's away down the left again if they can find him. He's on it now. Turns away from Tierney, back facing his own goal. Then it's the big switch out to Calvin Miller on this left-hand side. McCann's on the overlap if he wants him. Instead it's a little ball into the box here for Yates. Back out to McCann, level with the 6-yard line. Turns away from Yang. Back to Calvin Miller. His cross takes a deflection. Cleared by Celtic, only half away. Spencer's effort, blocked by McGregor. The howls for handball against Callum McGregor in the background as Celtic clear the lines and out for a throw-in on the near side to Falkirk. Falkirk 0, Celtic 0. There's McCann back in field to Miller. Miller then changing pace, driving forward. Brilliant play from Miller. Great ball in as well. The header at goal's pretty weak, but in fairness to Wilson, he was coming the other way, wasn't he? He was difficult to generate power there. It stays 0-0.
Miller driving, ghosting past players there as if they're standing still, and a wonderful delivery again. Playing some good football, Falkirk.
Calvin Miller looks like someone who's got something to prove tonight. He's not had too many stabs at Celtic since he left them. Of course, he was down at Ayr United. He's been at other clubs as well down the years.
Yeah, he's a good story, Calvin Miller. You know, he started at Celtic. I think he had a loan to Dundee and Ayr United, and then he went down south for a little bit.
He was at Harrogate and Chesterfield, and,
yeah,
you know, kind of drifting a little bit.
And then
at that
I remember,
point.
yeah, John taking him from Morton, I think it was, and he's worked with John. And again, it's credit to John. You know, he knows him, he's improved him, he's developed him, and he looks like one of the best players on the pitch tonight.
He's been excellent.
He's just playing with so much belief. You can just see the way he's carrying the ball. He thinks he can take the full back on every time he gets it. And he's doing his defensive duties as well. He's working back.
Yeah, it's been a tireless performance from Falkirk so far. Header from Lisa away into the midfield where Spencer finds Wilson. Midway inside his own half. It's a poor ball though. He's giving it straight to Yang, and then he runs into Henderson. And that was a touch fortuitous from a Falkirk point of view. This comes back to Bain, takes a touch to his right, gets away from Nygren and clears. Benjamin Nygren's not been in the game. I think that's perhaps the first time I've mentioned him. Ball forward, Engels first time, looking for Nygren, looking for a free kick now at the edge of the Falkirk box.
Engels has got to be aware of what's behind him. He's going to take that on the back foot and fire in a shot.
Yeah, there's nobody marking him in the box.
No.
You know, he's trying to play a wee 1-2 around the corner, but you're right. I think he's on to just to take a touch and go himself.
Talking about those Falkirk players who were part of the squad when they were in League One, Liam Henderson's one of them. Calvin Miller's another one. Finn Yates. They're all part of that side that won League One 2 seasons ago.
Brad Spencer.
Yeah. And there are many more still at the club, not involved in the starting 11 tonight. And many felt because of that, because of the loyalty John McGlynn had shown to those players that succeeded in providing back-to-back promotions, they felt that they'd struggle in the top flight this season, but quite the opposite. Mixing it with the big boys in the top half of the table.
It's that continuity and getting the opportunity to work with them. You know, your Ethan Rosses and boys like that. He knows them inside out. They know John inside out, and that's why there's a real trust there, and they play for each other. There's no doubt about it.
Here's Scales for Celtic with the long ball. It's all pretty aimless, and it comes all the way through to Bain as Henderson gets it from the goalkeeper. Another excellent signing, Scott Bain. He was third choice at Celtic Park, but we know how good a goalkeeper he is, particularly from his time at Dundee. As Tierney picks up on the left and rolls it out to the touchline for Tinecti, and then back to Tierney. Celtic could be doing with a period of calm in the match. 11 minutes from the break, it remains 0-0, but they've been at times getting battered in this first half.
Negron's hardly touched the ball. Engels very little.
But again, you see Falkirk tactically. There's Tate now going in against McGregor, and between him and Barney Stewart, they're just kind of negating what Callum McGregor does for Celtic, you know, where he controls games, and it's working for them.
Yang on this near side is brought crashing to the ground by Tate, and that will be a free kick to Celtic pretty much on the halfway line. What's Martin O'Neill thinking right now, do you think, guys?
I think he's a little bit worried what he's seen. They look vulnerable. They've lost complete control of the game. They had it the first 10-15 minutes, but they haven't really created what I would say great chances. Falkirk's had better chances. Looking a little bit leggy, maybe, Celtic.
Well, they've dropped points in 8 matches in the Premiership this season. That can't continue if they're going to be lifting the silverware again come May. There's Calvin Miller again, turns away from Arojo to the halfway line, into the Celtic half. He's got Wilson moving to his right. He's in a right central position, out to Wilson on the touchline now, up against Tierney. It's a very uncomfortable night against Tyrell Wilson. Here is Spencer picking up in the midfield. To his left is Tate, and to his left is Yates. And Yates and Miller were on the score sheet, and Paisley on Saturdays. Falkirk swept St Mirren, the League Cup winners, aside. It's picked up on the right hand side by Connor Allen as it came back into the Falkirk half, then out to that right hand side Miller, who's popped up on the right this time. Back comes Spencer, switching out, looks so comfortable on the ball. Falkirk, here's McCann wide on the left, gets the cross in, he's off point though, and that's going to go behind for the goal kick. He swung that in with the left peg. It stays nothing each.
Football's an easy game when you've got options. See, when you've got teammates 10 yards for your left, right, behind, and they're all wanting the ball, no fear. It's wonderful to watch.
You're watching a Falkirk team here now in terms of their patterns of play. They're playing from one side of the pitch through the middle, getting out the other side, getting runners down the side, and they really are a joy to watch at the moment.
So what's happened? Celtic are having to do the chasing, and they don't like chasing. They're not used to chasing the ball, and all of a sudden they lose a bit of fuel. You think they look, all of a sudden Celtic are looking a bit leggy, but that's what happens when another team makes you work.
I saw them a couple of weeks ago at Fir Park, and Motherwell played them off the pitch. It's perhaps, I wouldn't say it's as good as Motherwell were that night, but Falkirk aren't far off that right now.
Yeah, I think after that first 10-minute period, they're the ones that are in control, and I think the midfield three are winning that battle in there, and that's allowing their fullbacks to get forward, it's allowing them to feed the wide players, and as you see, they're trying to get into Barney Stewart to get that support. But yeah, they are the team that are the dominant ones.
Celtic have a free kick left of the centre circle. So goalless here, and it remains 0-0 between 10-man Hearts and St Mirren at Tynecastle. Billy Meningby sent off early on in the first half in the capital. Hearts hoping to increase their advantage over Celtic at the top of the table, and we shall see how that pans out tonight. Not being helped by that red card, but we'll get to Brian in a moment. But here come Celtic driving down the left-hand side with Tinecti, but it's well defended again, and It's Wilson back helping in defence, covering and helping Philip Lisa over on the far side. Scales as well up the pitch, wins the throw-in on the far side. Brian McLaughlin, how's that game going at Tynecastle?
Yeah, 10 minutes to the break, Liam, still 0-0, but St Mirren have twice been denied. They've had the ball in the back of the net, but both occasions ruled out for offside. They do with a brilliant curling effort that beat Craig Gordon, who was at full stretch in off the post, but he just straight offside, had the Saints striker. And then once again, Gogic had a shot. The ball fell to Adu, just 8 yards out. Gordon saved brilliantly. The ball knocked into the back of the net by Harry Milne, but Adu once again had just straight inches offside. Saints on top, but as things stand, the 10 man of Hearts are standing firm. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
You just wonder if it's going to be Hearts season. The way some things are going for them right now, the performances have been excellent, obviously, as well, but one or two little incidents, particularly perhaps thinking about the game in Paisley between those two earlier this season, where they got away with one. Did Hearts, got away with a draw. Brian will keep us up to date with that one. John Collins was about to give us his current thoughts on this game, but we'll get to that in a moment, because Yang's crossing into the Falkirk box, diving header away. We'll go behind for a Celtic corner on the near side. 0-0 here, John Collins.
Compliment down the right hand side, the work the two Falkirk boys are doing. Is it Lissy and Wilson working? So you can tell the message from the manager is, as soon as Taneki gets the ball, you need to double up and help your fullback, because you leave him 1 for 1 and it's a tough job. And every time Wilson's getting back, work ethic superb.
It'll be tough to keep that going for 90 minutes plus. As Engels prepares to take the corner, outswinger with the right boot on the Celtic right as they attack the goal to our right. Martin O'Neill looking on, hands in pockets down below us. In comes the corner, it's headed behind by Trusty, didn't know much about it, and that will be a goal kick to Falkirk, and it all comes to nothing. But I don't think there's any doubt, Tony, as we go in towards the final 5 minutes of the first half, that Falkirk have been the better side.
Yeah, and I think John and his coaching staff have got it right. You know, the introduction of Wilson as a wide player, as opposed to Saturday when they went an extra midfielder in there against St Mirren.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's allowed them to dominate the game here from the wider aspect.
I was just about to take over there, because Miller gave it away in a bad area, but Falkirk get away with it, and it's going to go out for a Celtic throw-in round about the halfway line. John McGlynn will not want carelessness to come into it, particularly in those areas when they have been so controlled in their performance, taking risks on the edge of their defensive third. As that long ball goes up towards Yang, it bounces off the back of his head, it favours Leon McCann, who clears for Falkirk, plays it to Tate, who spins and plays it to the edge of his own box here for Allen.
Superb composure from Tate there in the middle of the pitch, aware of somebody up his backside, turns the right way, switches the play over to the far side. Good composure.
He's a good young player, John. I worked with him at Kilmarnock. You know, technically he's got really, really good feet, and he's got good awareness. And you know, the question always was him about his athleticism going about the pitch, but watching him tonight against Celtic's 3, he really is matching him in every area.
Ball's up to the halfway line. Scales is there as he pumps it back to his goalkeeper. And it will bounce through to Schmeichel, who plays it with the right foot first time to Scales on the far side. Falkirk have 2 on him though, and it's been played into midfield for McGregor, who drives his team up the pitch here across the halfway line. Callum McGregor looking for Yang, too much on the pass. Well, I'm not sure Yang could have got there. He gave up on that one pretty early. It goes out for a throw-in. The ground seemed to slow on the artificial turf.
A collector's item. Callum McGregor giving the ball away.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, and here he is again.
I agree with Liam. I think Yang could have got there, you know, and he's been really quiet tonight. Yang, credit to McCann the way he's playing against him, but you know, you really need, when you're playing this system, you really need your wide players in Taneki and Yang to eliminate the fullbacks, and so far we've not seen that.
Yang just seemed to give up on it before he saw the bounce, and had he waited or continued chasing after it, he may well have got onto it. Anyway, Scales has it for Celtic over in the left, in the Falkirk half, level with the edge of the centre circle. We've got about 3 minutes of the 45 to play. 0-0 here, 0-0 at Tynecastle. The 2 Premiership matches taking place tonight. And after these are out of the way, the Scottish Cup will take centre stage. Full coverage across the BBC of that, starting here on the radio on Friday night as Rangers host Annan. And that's live on Sportsound, 7:45 kick-off. Celtic play Auchinleck Talbot on Sunday evening. And Falkirk, of course, go to Tynecastle, 8 o'clock kick-off on Saturday. Here comes Celtic down the left. It's going to come bouncing off Connor Allen and behind for a corner there. As Celtic tried to make inroads inside the area. It's positive play. It was Nygren popping up in an area where he's popped up so often for Celtic this campaign, in and around that 6-yard box, and Celtic have the corner over on the Celtic left. And it's going to be Arne Engels to take, in swinger with the right foot.
So I'm looking at Celtic now. I need more movement in the box. Too many players standing still.
Hanging around the 6-yard box. There's two on the 18-yard line.
They're going to score now, you know that.
And it comes in. Oh, it has! It's gone in! The corner from Engels has found its way into the net. Nygren celebrates. Perhaps the Swede got the final touch. And despite being under the cosh in this first half for big spells, Celtic find themselves in front of the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, with just about a minute and a half of the 45 to play in the first half.
Delivery right inside the 6-yard box. Is it keeper's area? We're a fair distance away, but I always say to my goalkeeper, 6-yard box is your area.
I think the tactics, I think watching the set play there, you know, it's a few corners have had, but there was a real tactic to make sure everybody was crowding the goalkeeper. And listen, with the quality of delivery that you get for Arne Engels, you know, all you need is a touch in that area and you score. So it was a definite tactic, Celtic, to put pressure on the goalkeeper with that in-swinging delivery.
And Nygren,
harsh on Falkirk.
Looked like he got the final touch, but it's extremely harsh on the Bairns. That is an absolute fact. Celtic aren't complaining or caring though, and they have what might end up being a priceless lead come the end of the season. They can get the 3 points tonight. They might just settle them down as well as Engels gets it from Yang. Look for another here. Really would be harsh in Falkirk. Big ball into the box on the right to the left of it for Tenekte. He's knocked out for a throw-in on the far side by Philip Lisa. A massive boost for Celtic, that. It really is.
And you would have to say that's a mentality thing, because they have been second best in this game, no doubt about it, in terms of the balance of play. Falkirk have been the better team, but they get a couple of opportunities, and they get one opportunity from a brilliant delivery, and they capitalise on it.
Well, Celtic doing the chasing, they're not used to doing that at the top of the Premiership just now. But Benjamin Nygren, their top scorer, adds to his collection of goals. No added time, so the half-time whistle goes from John Beaton. The Falkirk supporters applaud their team off, but they've found themselves behind, and Benjamin Nygren has managed to find the net from Engels' corner right at the end of the first half. It's his 12th goal of the season, and it could be massive for the champions. So half-time at the Falkirk Stadium, it's Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Let's join a lament for the closing stages with Alan Preston of the match at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, down to 10 men, St Mirren 0.
Little passes been Shankland, Kazarides and Braga at times. It's really good to watch. And this is where Hearts best in the league at set plays.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a fantastic record from set pieces as Kazarides prepares to take the corner kick from the left-hand side in towards the back post, but Shamal George takes that under no great pressure, and it's a bit of a waste for Hearts on that occasion as Shamal George now bowls it out to Freckleton. A couple of minutes left in of the 45 as it's picked up on the left-hand side and then played in Fields. And welcome to Tynecastle to listeners who've been listening into the first half of Falkirk Celtic. This is the closing couple of minutes of Hearts against St Mirren, where it's 0-0, but Hearts have been playing with 10 men since the 14th minute, in which Benny Beningame was shown a red card after a on-field review. It was initially a yellow for a rather lunging challenge, and on review Kevin Clancy upgraded it to a red. They've had a couple of goals chalked off as well, both for St Mirren. Idowu curled a beauty in off the post after 21 minutes, but he was marginally offside. And then there was an own goal scored by Harry Milne, but again Idowu had been offside in the build-up to that one. So that's why it's still 0-0. We've got a minute left of the opening 45, plus I think we've got 3 minutes additional time are going to be played here as the ball's out for a St Mirren throw-in over on the far side. Freckleton preparing to take it, and back the way it goes to Richard King. Richard King closed down well there but it breaks back to Shamal George, who quickly bowls it out to Smith, who's under pressure. He's lost it. It's Kizarides, denied by Shamal George. Braga on the rebound. George saves again. Well, Oisin Smith, on his return to the St Mirren starting lineup, was half sleeping there. He was absolutely pickpocketed by Kizarides on the edge of his own box, and but for Shamal George, Hearts would be in front.
I tell you, Kizarides goes down, Smith's off. He's off the park, but he does it, he stays on. It's a really good save by the keeper, but you're right, Smythe, he's just dilly-dallying on the ball, takes a touch, it's robbed off him, and Kizarides was really unlucky.
And he'll take this corner kick on the left-hand side. Fires it a near post this time, breaks out to the edge of the box for Spittle. Spittle blocked by Phillips, comes back to his time ender, deflected and straight into the gloves of Shamal George. Fortunately for him, he immediately launches it long for Idowu. Idowu up against Steinbender, he's clipped there by the St Mirren man, and although he'll continue, it will be a free kick to Hearts for the challenge of Idowu and Steinbender. And,
I don't get why the referee doesn't blow up there, and he allows that challenge to happen with Devlin. It's a foul, just blow up. You don't see the game through, it's a foul. And then now he's having a go at Devlin. I'm sure Devlin's having a go at him for no blowing up.
Yeah, well, there have been a few contentious moments in this first half.
But I've got to say that, our first thoughts on the Beningame challenge, it was a red, Alistair. That was both of our initial thoughts. 14 minutes in, as you rightly said. Like to see it again, but straight away we both thought it was a nasty challenge.
Craig Gordon then to take this free kick midway inside his own half, still goalless into stoppage time here at Tynecastle between the league leaders and 10th place St Mirren. As the ball bounces about in the middle of the park, neither side able to bring it under control. It's getting a little bit heated here, and Phillips has been pushed by a couple of Hearts players. There's going to be a St Mirren free kick. Kevin Clancy he's got to sort things out here before half-time. I think the half-time whistle will probably come at a good time for him, because it is threatening to boil over as both sides somewhat lose the rag. Kevin Clancy wants a word with a couple of players here, Braga being one of them. Killian Phillips has also been called back.
Fiery character, Phillips.
Yeah, no shrinking violet.
Yeah.
It will be a St Mirren free kick, ultimately about 10 yards inside their own half. A couple of minutes of stoppage time have been played. Shamal George preparing to send this free kick long. George into the edge of the penalty area. Halkett gets his head to it, great header. Smith volleys it back into the air, comes to Mandron, that's blocked by Halkett as well. High up in the air by Spittle, brilliant defending by Craig Halkett, not for the first time this season. Smith gets it back into the area. Harry Milne's got time here, he can send it down the left hand side, and then knocked out of play by Braga, out for a St Mirren throw-in as half time approaches. Idowu, there's a check here. There's a check for something. Idowu's been told he's going to have to take the throw in again, or St Mirren are going to have to take it again.
No.
After the check, no idea what that's for.
And I think that's a frustrating thing. You can hear the fans, both sets of fans don't know what's going on.
No, I didn't see anything that looked worthy of a check, but you don't always notice everything. Anyway, it was quickly waved on. Here's St Mirren with perhaps the last attack of the first half. Well, boos ring round Tynecastle at half time. I'm assuming they're directed at the referee, although it's somewhat unclear, but it's 0-0 at half-time. That only tells half the story. Benny Beningame red carded after 14 minutes after a review, upgraded from a yellow for a lunging challenge on Idowu, who then had the ball in the back of the net. A wonderful effort, you'd have to say, but chalked off for an offside against Idowu. There's another one in the back of the net off Harry Milne into his own net, but again Idowu had been offside in the build-up, and just in the stroke of half-time, Kizarides nicking the ball off Oisin Smith at the edge of the St Mirren area, but denied by Shamal George, as was Claudio Braga on the follow-up, and that's why at half-time the scoreline reads Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
What makes Radio Scotland breakfast different.
For starters, our programme is made here in Scotland.
Every day you can have your say. Send us a message, a voice note on the topics which matter to you.
And if you want to have your say on the lighter things in life, well, that's okay too.
But what really makes every day different is the news. It's fast-paced, constantly changing, and we'll bring it to you in depth every morning.
Join Martin Geisler and Laura McKeever for Radio Scotland Breakfast. Listen tomorrow morning from 6 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. 2 games in the top flight this evening, as we were just hearing. Goal is through at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. Hearts down to 10 men. Benny Beningame sent off there fairly early on. Here at the Falkirk Stadium, Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. John Collins. It's actually been a really exciting game to watch. Celtic very fast out the traps. Falkirk then took control, had a couple of big chances. You felt at the time they may pay for these. One maybe glaring miss, you'd say, when he cut him to the right hand side, and Celtic, of course, as champions do, get themselves in front.
Yeah, John McGlynn will be sitting in that dressing room, and he'll be delighted with the overall performance. They've had more shots than Celtic, more shots on target. They've had lots of possession. They've caused Celtic real problems, and no real problems with booting the ball at the park, with good, controlled, passing, movement football. And they're really unlucky to go in 1-0 down. Celtic haven't really created final third. They've had little bits here and there, but in general play, the Falkirk defence has held tight, not looked under too much stress. But again, it's all the credit goes to, for me, to John McGlynn. He's got these players that have cost absolutely nothing. They've not been at any big clubs, done nothing, and they're playing against the champions of Scotland with no fear whatsoever. That's all down to the manager, the way he works them in the training pitch, the way he sets them up for games. I see so many teams playing against Celtic, parking the bus, going on from kick-off, the mindset, don't lose an early goal, don't lose a goal. He's exact opposite John McGlynn. He's saying, he says, let's put Celtic under pressure, let's go and try and score, let's try and stress him, let's try and get them chasing the ball, let's us have possession. And you can see, I'm watching these players on this pitch, they're enjoying it, they're playing with a freedom and energy. It's a joy to see, and a lot of them are young Scottish players, which is nice. Celtic, Martin O'Neill will be sitting in that dressing room with Sean Moore, they'll be scratching their head a little bit. We looked vulnerable, we could have been goals down, but they're 1-0 up. Martin's a good manager, but these guys are a little bit of luck as well, and it's always a nice thing to have as a manager, a little bit of luck. But 45 minutes, a lot of football to be played here, second half.
They're a very good watch, you'd have to say, Falkirk, Tony. As I said, Celtic started brightly, they were in control first 10 minutes or so. What changed in the game? What allowed Falkirk to have the momentum?
I think Falkirk just gained a bit of control, and the control and keeping possession of football gives you confidence as a player, and you could see the confidence building in the team, and I've got to say that I said earlier, the synergy, the energy of the crowd, helped them grow into the game, and they really did start dominating the game, and I think the midfield three at the upper hand, I thought they negated tactically the threat of McGregor controlling the game, and again, like John, I think it's all credit to John McGlynn, because you look at the team selection, it's obviously they played the boy Wilson on that side to really get at Tierney with his pace. And they've done it, in wide areas. Calvin Miller on the other side's done well, but it's because of they've had control of the ball in the middle of the pitch, because their midfield have dominated that area. And I think, they did create the Barney Stewart, I think, was the biggest chance for me with his 1-on-1 with Schmeichel. And you're right in saying that you need to take these chances when you're not, you get the upper hand against the Old Firm or the better teams. You need to take your opportunities, and they've never done that. But listen, I think you also need to credit Celtic, that they've weathered that storm. They were getting outplayed with Falkirk, but they've found a way, and goals win you games, and they found a way, and it was an obvious tactic, that set play with the delivery angles that they were putting it in on top of the goalkeeper and surrounding the goalkeeper, and Nygren pops up with that header, and ultimately it's 1-0 to Celtic, regardless of the balance of play being in favour of Falkirk.
Who do you like in the Falkirk team, John? Lee mentioned in commentary that Calvin Miller looked very much like a player with a point to prove tonight. I felt he's been electric. Tony mentioned Wilson as well on the right hand side. I've also been really impressed with Brad Spencer, very composed on the ball, a good player, isn't he? Steady, he's solid. I think it's been a team performance from Falkirk's point of view. The full-backs have done well against Celtic's wingers. Celtic's wingers tore Dundee United apart at the weekend. Yang's really struggled to get the better of McCann down this our right hand side, their left hand side. But giving them lots of
credit in possession, but they've got to have enormous credit for out of possession, the work rate. They get back into nice compact units. There's not big gaps between them. Their wingers are getting back and doubling up and helping their fullbacks. That's such an important part of the game as well. Without the ball, they've been good with the ball, without the ball. Can they do it for 90 minutes? Will they tire? I don't think so. I think it's going to go right to the wire this game.
What does Martin O'Neill then do? Because they have got themselves in front right in the stroke of half-time. Negrin at the back post on that corner kick, Tony. How does he approach the second period of the game? Will he be looking at any changes, you think?
I always think Celtic, whenever you play against Celtic, they're the most dangerous spells that first 10 minutes after the first half, particularly when you've done well. You know, there's a wee bit of backslap saying keep it going lads, keep it in, and Celtic get at you and they win a lot of games in the first 10 minutes. So I think that's what Martin and Sean's instruction will be, the way they started the first half. The start of the game, they start the second half in the exact same manner. And yeah, they've got really good substitutes they bring on, you know, and Hattati and McCowan and Kenny, loads of quality bring on, but I think they'll be looking to really get at Falkirk, and I think a second goal, you know, again against the run of play would make it really difficult for Falkirk.
Yeah, so Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, Negrin with a goal right on the stroke of half-time. Just a reminder at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. Alan Preston's there for us alongside Al Lamont. A real setback for Derek McInnes early on, Alan, with the Beningame challenge. He said he saw it right away and felt it was the correct decision from the match officials. What's been working for St Mirren tonight? Sounds like they've had a couple of big chances in the game.
They had the ball in the net twice, Kenny, but twice it was offside, so they've not done enough for me. Hearts have had actually the better of the chances, they really have. Braga's been through, Kizaridis has nicked one of his Smythe late on and he was through. Shanklis had an effort, Braga had another effort at the front post. Hearts have played well. St Mirren, when you're playing against 10 men, you need width in your team. Right on, chalk on your boots, both sides. St Mirren can afford to play 4 up front. So it'll be interesting to see what Stevie Robinson does. 100% a red card, we said it in commentary, we felt it right away. It's when a ball's played into Benny Beningame and he takes a heavy touch and he loses it and he's desperate and he lunges. As soon as you do that, you're putting yourself under pressure. It's clearly got to do with the St Mirren player. And we knew right away, we just thought it was a red straight away. The referee gave a yellow, went over to look at it on the screen and then upgraded that to a red. It's the right decision. But Hearts have played well. St Mirren can do more and they've got a wonderful opportunity to St Mirren against 10 men since the 14th minute to go and try and get 3 points. A much needed 3 points for St Mirren, it has to be said. But Hearts are very much in the game, Kenny. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, do you think Derek McInnes would settle for a point now, Alan, or by the sounds that they're still very much in the game, you think he would?
No, I think he would. I think he'd take a point now. You know, you're looking at 10 men for what, 75, 76 minutes. It's a big ask, even the second 45 to go and do it again. I thought he might have made a change and brought on a defender right away, maybe take Braga off as he did, bring Kent on, someone like that, shore it up at the back, but he's not. He's kept the same 9 outfield players since Beningame's been sent off, but it's we'll wait and see what he does in the second half. But the challenge from Beningame is horrific. It really is. It catches the duo on the knee, the left knee. I don't know, if I'm being brutally honest, we've seen it from where we are at the back of the wheat field. I don't know how the referee doesn't see it first time out. I really don't. How he gives them a yellow card is absolutely beyond me.
Yes, the full second half commentary to come from the game at Tynecastle. They're a few minutes behind us here just because of the extra time played at the end of the first half. So the teams are back out here at the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, Negrin with a goal right on the stroke of half time. So back to our commentary team of Tony Docherty, John Collins and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Kenny. Celtic unbeaten in the last 15 meetings with Falkirk. And I mentioned in the first half the Bairns have only beaten them once since they beat them in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup in '97 after a replay at Ibrox. The Bairns going on to lose that final to Kilmarnock. And the Bairns, actually their last 5 wins over Celtic have come at 4 different venues. 2 at Brockville, 1 here, 1 at Hampden in a league game when Celtic were playing there in '94-95, and 1 at Ibrox in that semi-final I just mentioned. And Falkirk's good run, they won their last 2. They've won 3 of their last 4, is under pressure despite that excellent first half performance. Missed 4 huge opportunities as the hosts kick off, going left to right, the navy blue and white with red socks, Celtic in the green and white hoops. So Falkirk shooting towards the Kevin McAllister stand, Celtic shooting towards the north stand, half of which is with their visiting support behind them. 7,730 inside the stadium tonight. No changes for either team at the start of the second half as Celtic pick up a free kick midway inside their own half. Left to centre, Bain in goal for them. They've got Lisa, Allen, Henderson, McCann, Spencer, Tate, Miller, Yates, Wilson and Stewart. Celtic, Schmeichel, Arojo, Trusty, Scales, Tierney, Engels, McGregor, Nygren, Yang, Tenekti, Maida. And it's Nygren's goal that separates the teams. His 12th of the season. And it's Celtic in possession. Just have a look down there. It looks as though Sean Murdoch has taken over refereeing duties. John Beaton was the ref in the first half. He's now gone to fourth official. He's picked up a knock or an injury, so he's been replaced by Sean Murdoch, former footballer Sean Murdoch, who's taken on refereeing duties recently. So he has stepped up and takes charge of the second half as Trusty picks up and squares it to Scales, who moves it out to Tierney.
I did think there it looked like John had lost a wee bit of weight, to be honest, running about the middle there, but yeah, it's obviously different.
He's done his hammy, apparently. That's what we're hearing. Anyway, he's also, Sean Murdoch, a bit taller than John Beaton, as Lisa picks up on this near side and rolls it back to Bain. I guess from John McGlynn's point of view, as Bain clears under pressure from Daisen Maida, it will be his team trying to kick on where they left off. But here's Maida getting it from Nygren in the box, rolling it back to Engels. It's behind him though, and that allows Finn Yates to come away, and he's charging up towards the halfway line. He's got options, two ahead of him. Couldn't quite work it through to Stewart. It's cut out and Celtic come away. Kind of lost his way a little bit, Finn Yates there. He got himself into a decent position as Celtic come forward. Tenekti, left hand side of the box. Nygren back towards Maida at the penalty spot, but it breaks the way of Leon McCann. And he's able to get it clear over on that left hand side.
That's when
he turns back towards
Maida lets you down in the box, those tight areas. It's a nice simple 3-yard pass to set a teammate up for a shot on target, and he's just misdirected a 3-yard pass.
Yeah, I don't know
got to do better.
Whether it's the surface or not, but that was a real opportunity for Celtic there. I think you're right. I think they've got to do better there, but just don't know whether it gets caught up in the surface or not. I don't know.
I was just going to say, John, that for John McGlynn, he'll just want his team to go out there and perform as they did in the first half.
Exactly the same. In possession, everybody make themselves available for a pass, running off the ball, out of possession, get back nice and compact, help your teammates out, especially in the wide areas.
Let you know when things get back underway at Tynecastle, and Brian McLaughlin's our reporter will keep us up to date with that throughout the second half of that one. But as Kenny was saying, they're a good few minutes behind because of the red card, and there was no stoppage time at all here. And there was the VAR checks in Edinburgh as well, as Tenekti picks up at the left angle of the box, cuts onto his right, goes for goal. It's over the bar from distance, and that will be a goal kick to Falkirk, and will stay 1-0 to Celtic.
Tenekti gets into those positions so often. He gets the space in a good position, and the amount of times he never hits the target. If I was his coach, he would not be getting afternoons off. He'd be in for shooting every single afternoon until he can hit the target. So frustrating.
You're right, the amount of times you see there's Tenekti cutting in field at the edge of the box and letting fly, and it never seems to test the goalkeeper. And he's got a couple of goals in his Celtic career. He's just back from AFCON, where he was playing for Tunisia, featured in their 3 group matches.
It's not like in our day when we used to come back here at Brockville. It was like divots and mud everywhere. Look, nice smooth surface, there's no excuses.
It was as authentic in the stands as it was in the pitch at Brockville, John, I can assure you of that.
Good old days.
As Liam Henderson plays it down the left hand side, Stewart gives chase, looks to win the throw, and he has done. He's got his team up the pitch here beyond the midway point of the Celtic half, wide on the Falkirk left as they attack the goal to our right. It's played infield, but Tate can't control, and it falls kindly for the goal scorer Nygren, who comes across the halfway line, connected to his left. Good run by Nygren, couldn't find Tenekti though. It's cut out by Lisa and out for a throw-in.
Nygren's he's carrying the ball. He's got to play the ball earlier to Tenekti there. Waits till he's 5 yards away from him and makes the pass.
Yeah, I think you've got to do things a wee bit sharper there. But Celtic have certainly started the better of the second half at the moment, which they always do. I think they always try and get games won early.
The goal just in the stroke of half time will have helped them, I would have thought, though. That'd be fair to say.
Yeah, I think so, but it's a pattern when you play against them. It's always something that John will tell you, played with them, you know, it's a pattern. They try and win games early, you know, and make it easier for them, and they're certainly, even the press at the moment on Falkirk, they're really getting in against them, and there you go, winning possession in that final third.
The second half has just started at Tynecastle, so they are 5.5 minutes behind us. Goalless there, but Hearts playing with 10 men. 1-0 Celtic here, the champions looking for a second. Lisa with an excellent challenge at Tinecti on this near side, and then he drives forward down this Falkirk right. A misunderstanding with Miller, who peeled off to the right. The ball went to the left, and Celtic have it back with McGregor, who knocks it back short to Trusty, and then to Arojo, right of the centre circle. Plays it out to the far side for Yang, and then infield to McGregor. Scored an excellent goal against Dundee United, Celtic's first one at the weekend. Did Yang Yoon Jun. And now it's with McGregor, long ball into the box, just evades Nygren and sails behind for the goal kick to Falkirk. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Here on Sports Sound, on BBC Radio Scotland, on digital and 810 medium wave, and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, the BBC Radio Scotland Extra. Goal kick Falkirk, Scott Bain to take. Played over 70 times for Celtic, but he was predominantly reserve goalie there. Drops to Spencer in the midfield, and up and under to this near side. Underneath it is Tierney, who sweeps it clear into the Falkirk half, where it is met there by Connor Allen, and now it's with Henderson into the centre circle for Spencer. He was under pressure, he's given it away. McGregor finds Yang, Arojo to his right. Yang plays it with the outside of the boot, short to Arojo, knocks it back to McGregor. Forward to Engels, gets it back to McGregor under pressure from Spencer. Infield to Trusty, square to Scales. Scales then fires it out to Tinecti on this left-hand side. Level with the Falkirk 18-yard line. Lisa for company, and he's managed to get away from Lisa in the box. And Spencer, and then a slip, but Tinecti judged to have given it away. The foul, and that will be a free kick to Falkirk inside their own box. 1-0 Celtic. In fact, Celtic free kick's been given just to the left angle of the box. Looked like Falkirk had been given the decision. It's a Celtic ball, and an opportunity here to flight this right into the Falkirk penalty area, if not have a go at goal themselves. Engels and Nygren are both over it.
Got to be a left footer there, just putting in that little 6-yard box, just inside it, bending away from the goalkeeper.
Falkirk need to really be aware here, because for all their dominance in the first half, they're 1-0 down due to poor defending at a set play, and they've got another situation here. They need to be strong. They've got a good line, it's right in front of us at the moment, but as John says, it's all about the delivery here, and Celtic players attacking it.
It's the first time really we've seen Lisa and Wilson struggling on this near side. Nygren's going to take it, and it comes a good ball. It's headed back across by Scales, still alive in the box. Trusty nods for goal. Surely Maida's in an offside position. The ball's in the net. The flag goes up. No goal. A warning for Falkirk. Again, though, they are double checking that with the VAR team, but I think Maida was well off on that occasion, and Liam Scales headed it back across initially. But it will be a free kick, I would imagine, here for Falkirk.
But yeah, I would think so, but it does look an Achilles heel. It does look an Achilles heel of Falkirk there, you know, the defending set plays, and that's the reason they're down in the game.
The game on here, Bain playing it short to the right there for Connor Allen, out to Lisa, high ball up towards the halfway line, one in the air by Scales. Next back to Lisa, slice it with the outside of the right boot, comes off Scales' head and out for a Falkirk throw-in on this near side. 1-0 Celtic. We played 9 minutes of the second half. Lisa bowling it back there to Allen, and then the side football back to Bain. Comes outside his box and plays it to his left for Liam Henderson, who'll turn it out to the left back. McCann back to Henderson and back to Bain. Falkirk getting away with the early Celtic pressure, and they haven't made good use of the ball since the turnaround. Some sloppy passes, sloppy bits of play have crept into their game. I understand being rocked by that late first half goal by Celtic, which has put them behind, despite a very good first half performance from them. Controlled, measured. The only thing that was missing was that ruthlessness in the final third.
Again, but I think that a lot of that goes down to the intensity, the way Celtic have started the second half. They've started the game with a real intensity, a real tempo, and that kind of trademark that they've got when they're in possession. They suffocate the opponent and they kind of get up in the game and make sure they're, as they did in the first half, they're winning the ball back when they give it away. But there is a real intensity about the Celtic play at the moment.
Arojo, square ball to Trusty midway inside Celtic territory, and he plays it to Scales. And he's centre-back pairing of choice for Celtic just now. Cameron Carter-Vickers still out. It's that long ball comes down the left-hand touchline here. It's Tenecti up against Lisa. He's not had much change out of the Falkirk right back in the game yet, but here's Tenecti looking to find some space to either cross or pull it back. He pulls it back to Tierney. His ball in is cleared out to this near side. Lisa turns it out for a Celtic throw-in. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1 as the champions push for a second.
Moving it quicker now, Celtic. The passing's getting a little bit sharper.
Kieran Tierney with it, short to Nygren, back to Tierney, and it's blocked by Wilson and out for a throw-in again to the visitors, which Tierney is over. A little bit of movement from Nygren. He's also got Tenecti down the line. Nygren makes some space for himself. Tierney finds him. Nygren gives it back to Tierney. Turns away from Wilson and back towards the halfway line for Scales, and then to Trusty in the centre circle. Trusty rolls it along the halfway line to Arojo. Out to the touchline for Yang. Infield to Engels, misjudged though by the Belgian, and now Spencer's onto it, and Spencer comes forward, finds Yates, first time ball with the right foot to the left hand side. McCann, 3 or 4 waiting in navy blue in the middle, in comes the cross and it's headed away by Tierney. Still in play, right hand side of the area, back in from Wilson and headed wide at the 6-yard box there, according to referee Murdoch, by a Falkirk head last. I'm not sure if it was Barney Stewart's head who got the final touch. He's claiming that should be a corner. It's a goal kick to Celtic, and it is 1-0 to Celtic in the rain here at the Falkirk Stadium.
All came from Engels, waiting the ball instead of going towards the ball, not an awareness what's round about him. Falkirk pressing.
Yeah, and Arojo's giving it away. It's a big concern for Martin O'Neill's that Celtic actually the most comfortable they've been in the game since the opening 10 minutes of the first half, and they are giving Falkirk some encouragement here.
I think it's a similar pattern. That's the way Celtic started the first half, and just a couple of passages of play where Falkirk got the upper hand and then they took it on for there, and at the moment it looks like it might be going the same way.
I mean, Scott Bain is the goalkeeper. He's done a tremendous job in the build-up phase with his feet, his distribution. He's really comfortable with the ball.
There goes Barney Stewart, onside for now. He's at the edge of the Celtic box. Support arriving. Rolls it back to Finn Yates, takes a touch, shoots with the right foot, deflected right through to Schmeichel, flags up anyway, and it stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. It's a very intriguing match, this one. Not much between them with regards to the two on the pitch right now, just the one goal separating them as well, and a little misunderstanding between Yates and Tate, and Celtic pinch it back on this near side with Tierney, who dinks it up the line looking for Nygren. Covering across there was Connor Allen, down the line to Lisa, and infield to Tate, digs it through to Miller, out comes Schmeichel, Miller chasing, Schmeichel gets there first, rifles it away with the right foot first time from the edge of his box, and out for a throw into Falkirk. Really good spell for the hosts as we approach the hour mark. 1-0 Celtic.
All that came from a ball up the line to Nygren, and for me he gave up on it too easy. I thought he was favourite to get it, at least stretch and go for it.
Again, real similarities to the goal that Falkirk scored at the weekend there. Dylan Tate's a brilliant ball in behind there, and a fantastic run for Calvin Miller going from out to in, and they almost get in it, and it just shows you that the game's changed again. There's another ball behind
Lisa's
for Barney Stewart.
It through towards Stewart. Trusty's the covering defender, and Nixon ahead of the number 16. And Falkirk striking and gets it back to Schmeichel, who plays it short to Scales. And out to Trusty, left-hand side of his box. Low ball rolled forward to Nygren. Square ball infield to Engels. He gets there ahead of Miller. Turns it to Arojo to his right. Going across the halfway line. To the right-hand side, it's Yang looking for Arojo up against Henderson. Henderson standing his ground, but it breaks to Maida in the box. Falkirk players flooding the area though, and it's the two centre-backs who do a good job, Connor Allen and Liam Henderson, and Henderson knocks it off Arojo and behind for the goal kick to Falkirk, and it stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
I mean, it's terrific defending from Liam Henderson. He wins the ball, but too often I see in Scottish, he just boot it out the pitch here, but he tried to knock it sideways and get it up the pitch, and he got the deflection back in for a by kick. Good play.
The game's really opened up now. It's really going end to end at the moment, and it's entertaining, as you said, Liam. It's intriguing, but you really see the quality of Trusty there. The ball in behind to Barney Stewart, he's so quick, and that's the reason why he's commanding as a centre back. He's got such trust in his pace.
And a seamless return to the top flight after a 15-year absence for Falkirk. 5 seasons of those 15 away were spent in the 3rd tier. But here they are as they look to try and get back on terms here with McCann up towards the edge of the box. Rolls it to the left for Calvin Miller. Up against Arojo, slides in, he comes off the Falkirk man. Lassie's the referee. And that'll be a goal kick to Celtic. And it will stay 1-0 to Celtic. It remains 0-0 at Tynecastle. We're beyond the hour mark here. They're about 5 minutes or so behind us in the match between Hearts and St Mirren. Remember, Hearts down to 10 men after the first half red card shown to Benny Beningame. But here, Celtic looking to, as it stands, get back to within 4 points of the league leaders. Tony Docherty.
The game's getting a wee bit basketball at the moment, going from end to end, and I think one of the teams, I'm sure Martin O'Neill would want his team to get a foot on it and get a wee bit more control. But it's brilliant to watch. It's a real spectacle, that the fact both teams are going for it, and it's very much a game of counter-attacks.
Falkirk have only lost 1 of their last 8 home matches, won 5 of those, and they've been a fantastic addition to the top flight after so long away. Celtic currently 14 points worse off than they were after 21 games last season. Indeed, they're a few points worse off than they were under John Barnes at this point in 2000. Such has been their problems. As Celtic pick up with Trusty, it's going to be a double change for the home team just shortly. Scales picks up to the halfway line. He finds Tierney, and then down the line for Tenecti. We're going to be seeing new signing Ben Parkinson coming on shortly. I think Louis Marsh is the other. So John McGlynn rolling the dice here. Finn Yates is coming off, and the other change, we'll see Barney Stewart replaced as well. It'll be very interesting to see what Ben Parkinson can offer this Falkirk side as they make that double change. And he gets a special cheer there. Marsh on as well. The tall figure for Falkirk wearing the number 30. And Scales plays it back to Austin Trusty. Up to the halfway line for Engels, back to Arojo, and back to his goalkeeper. John Collins, what are you making of those changes?
I think he's brave. Manager, very rarely you see manager making early changes like that, but he's seen it. He wants probably fresh legs. They've worked really hard at the top of the pitch to try and stop Celtic building it.
I think the nature of the game, John, it's because it became so open. It is a team with energy that's going to get the upper hand here, and I think John's identified that. He's kept the identical shape, but he's just put players in the same positions to hopefully get more energy.
Yeah, Louis Marsh, who's arrived on loan from Sheffield United.
Good player.
Yeah, Ben Parkinson, just 20. He did make 1 appearance for Newcastle's first team. He's come here with decent pedigree. Reo Hatate is going to be on for Celtic in a moment as Falkirk pick up down the right-hand side. Marsh back down the line from Parkinson, and then a foul there on Wilson, and a free kick to Falkirk midway inside the Celtic half, wide in the right.
Nygren, I think, will probably come off. Maybe Maeda wide, Kenny come up front for Celtic. That's probably something.
Well, at the moment it looks like it's Luke McCowan who's coming on, John, along with Reo Hatate, so we'll wait to see who comes off here. See if John's right. It's going to be Calvin Miller with the free kick for Falkirk. Into the box it comes. It's flicked on and behind for a corner off a Celtic defender, Arne Engels, who got there after looked like the initial header was going to be won by a Falkirk head. It was Connor Allen who'd made his way into a decent area in the box to get in the end of that Miller free kick. It stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. 25 minutes of the 90 to play. Celtic changes coming, but not before this Falkirk corner.
I think it'll be Nygren and Yang.
And it comes towards the back post. Schmeichel gets a fist onto it. It's going to break Miller's way, right hand side of the Celtic box, onto his left side, gets the cross, it's a useful delivery, and it sails over everyone's head and behind for the goal kick on the reverse side of the goal frame, and it will stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Celtic changes coming now, and the first will see Tinekti replaced by McCowan, and it will be Nygren, as John said, the goal scorer. And Hatate comes on. The deadlock, before we allow John the chance to gloat for getting something else right tonight. Brian McLaughlin can report on that goal at Tynecastle.
It's a goal for Hearts. Lawrence Shankland on target. Wonderful play by Hearts. They stole the ball off St Mirren in midfield, played the ball out wide. The ball crossed into the 6-yard area, and there was Lawrence Shankland on target to knock the ball beyond Shamal George into the back of the net. They may have 10 men, but they lead by 1-0. Hearts 1, St Mirren 0.
And 1-0 to Celtic here as well. And incidentally, it was Yang who ended up coming off. Nygren made his way over to the touchline as if it was him coming off. It's like he heard John. It was Yang who's off. As Falkirk get themselves a free kick after an excellent, positive run forward there by Louis Marsh, and it's drawn the foul, and the free kick to Falkirk in a decent position here, about 25 yards from goal, slightly left to centre.
Again, another good little period for Falkirk. Looking threatening.
And an opportunity here to try and have a pop at Kasper Schmeichel's goal. It would be if they take a shot from this free kick, from this distance, and it goes in, it'll be a wonderful strike, because it's a decent way out. It's going to be Calvin Miller to take. He's chipped it to the right-hand side of the box. The first header's won by a navy shirt, but Celtic clear. There's Lisa's header back across. Breaks to Hatate, he's just on at the edge of the box. He clears. Celtic have a man down, and there seems to be a bit of concern as well. A few of the Celtic players are waving at the medics to come on. Is it Tierney that's down? They've got a man on the deck inside the box. He's a few players round him just now. It's possible to say 100% who is. I think it's Kieran Tierney. And Liam Scales is coming over to have a word with the assistant on this near side as well. But there seemed to be some real concern immediately for Tierney. We've got a quarter of this game left. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. But Scales is irate about something. He's over here talking to the assistant referee on this near side, and doesn't seem to be happy at all. It's Ross McLeod who's the assistant on the main stand side. And there's going to be a decent stoppage in play here, I would have thought, because of this. It's not often you see the players waving frantically as they were there, but there was enough for them to be concerned about their teammate, John.
Yeah, they look really concerned, the players. It's not looking good for Kieran.
Yeah, well, I mean, the medics are working on him just now.
Well, he's up, he's looking like he's
sitting up. It is Kieran Tierney, as they make sure he's okay. So, you just heard the news there, the league leaders.
Incredible.
1-0 up, despite being down to 10 men, the second game in a row. On the hour mark, Lawrence Shankland has stepped up. 10-man Hearts 1, St Mirren 0. And that would be potentially a massive opportunity missed for the Paisley team, the League Cup winners, given Benny Beningame was sent off around 15 minutes into that one. Still half an hour of that game to go, and Hearts doing what most people thought they would, albeit they're doing it the hard way again, as they did at Dundee. As things stand, the top three will have played 22 games apiece. Hearts on 50 points, 6 clear of both Celtic and Rangers, the champions, who go back into second, ahead of what is a huge week across the different competitions. For Celtic, they've got Auchinleck Talbot in the Cup to come on Sunday evening in Ayrshire, and then they've got a Europa League trip to Bologna to negotiate. They might need to get a point out of that if they've got designs in qualifying, and then they go to Tynecastle. What a head-to-head that's going to be. And the way it's going right now, if Hearts win that one as well, to go 9 clear of Celtic at that stage of the season, they would have to go down as certainly favourites to finish ahead of the defending champions. Rangers look like they're going to be spending big this month, going by their signings. Wait and see how they settle after the January business is done. But it's going to be a fascinating title battle, Tony, and despite being down to 10 men, Hearts doing their job as the game gets back underway here.
Again, adversity, they're dealing with adversity, they're down to 10 men, they're finding a way to win games, whether it be defending or typical Shanklin popping up with a goal. He's so invaluable, he's a brilliant player for them. I'm interested to watch Celtic here and the change that they've made. You know, they've went Maeda wide left, McCowan wide right, and elected for Nygren through the middle as a 9, with the 3 midfielders behind that of McGregor, Engels and Hatate. And it shows, you know, I've not seen Nygren playing as a 9, but they've got Johnny Kenny on the bench here, who is your obvious replacement. So interesting change from Celtic.
Well, given the way this game's gone at times tonight, Martin O'Neill would happily sign up for a 1-0 victory right now. 19 minutes to play of the 90. Celtic still leading 1-0 from that Nygren goal from close range from the Engels corner right at the end of the first half. There is a stoppage in play here because they are reviewing a tackle out there. I'm not sure whose it was. They've completed that check. Grant Irvin is the VAR tonight, but they were just looking at a few replays of whatever challenge it was they saw that was untoward out there. Lisa picks up for Falkirk midway inside his own half and shuffles it back to Allen, who finds Bain. Do Falkirk have an equaliser in them tonight? It's played to the left for Henderson. Henderson's forced back towards the byline there, and he plays it off McCowan and ends up winning the goal kick. It's a bit of a result for Liam Henderson, given the cul-de-sac he found himself in there. It stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
Interesting, he's looking up at his teammates and said, I couldn't see you. He's so used to having good movement in front of him, easy passes. All of a sudden Celtic's press was good and he was under pressure.
Celtic win it back on the halfway line with Scales, facing his own goal at the moment. Turns now, then turns back the way and finds Trusty. Short ball back to Scales. Into Trusty. Looks like Tierney's okay, we are happy to report. There's some concern for him a few minutes ago when he went down after that clash of heads.
Just intrigued by that change, but John, if you look at Nygren the way he's playing now, Celtic are not playing with number 9. He's playing like a false 9. He's dropping into that midfield area, and they don't look to have an out ball, which will allow Falkirk to put pressure on him like here and win the ball back in the areas there, because they don't have an out.
Celtic gave it away at the edge of their box there. It's Tate on the turn, back towards the halfway line for Henderson. He's on the centre spot just about to Philip Lisa on the right, steps away from Maeda, and then rolls it back to Henderson again, to the left of the centre circle for Allen, and out to McCann on the far side. Down the line for Miller, then to Spencer. First time ball back to Allen, and then the switch out to the right here for Lisa. Pushes it forward there to Wilson. It was a bit of a heavy touch. Tierney going after it, and then Tierney goes in on this near side on Philippe Lisa and gets a yellow card for his troubles. It's a hefty challenge, and it stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
I'm really impressed with Lisa, the right back. He's defended well, he's 1v1 battles. As you see Taneko going off, they never got the better of him too many times. In possession, he's really composed. When Maeda pressing him, and he's staying nice and calm, playing a pass centrally.
Henry Cartwright, meantime, comes on for Dylan Tate for Falkirk. And Cartwright scored that wonderful goal that effectively ended Russell Martin's tenure at Rangers in the 1-1 draw here. He smashed one in from outside the box.
But again, it's just a like for like change, so John's happy with his shape, happy with his tactics, and just getting a bit more energy into the team, because I thought Dylan Tate was doing really well, but Cartwright is a good player.
Lovely touch by Lisa on this near side, driving forward into the Celtic half, moves into a central position. And Cartwright picks up, right foot cross comes in, he's off target, and it sails behind for the goal kick on that far side. Eventually it trickles over the byline. We'll stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. It is Hearts 1, St Mirren 0 at Tynecastle. We've got just over 15 minutes of the 90 left to play here at the Falkirk Stadium. The match in Edinburgh is about 5 minutes or so behind this one because of the red card and all the VAR checks in that first half. But Hearts doing what they have to do to maintain this lead at the top of the Premiership beyond the midway point of the season. Here's Scales picking up just outside the box. Infield to McGregor. McGregor now midway inside his own half. Forward to Nygren. First time back to Scales. Maida's made a run down this left side for the long ball. Maida giving chase. Lisa sticking with him. Gets there first and prods it out for a throw into Celtic, level with the Falkirk 6-yard line. And it's going to be left to Kieran Tierney to take this one. Second Celtic goal you would feel would finish it off, but Falkirk very much in this. And even in this second half, there's still the argument to say they've been the better side in the game. Nygren finds Hatate, spins away from Cartwright, finds Engels, back to McGregor, to Arojo, the right central position, out to the right hand side touchline there. It's McCowan. His cross from the right angle of the box is blocked. He might get a second chance. The refs having to stop play for a head knock after McCowan's initial cross. Him smashing off one of the Falkirk players who was back putting his body in the way. It stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
And again, just looking at that change for Celtic, Nygren obviously not a natural centre forward. He comes towards the ball and probably puts more impetus on your wide players, and McCowan and Maeda making the out to in runs to try and get in, penetrating areas against Falkirk. But you know, at the moment it's quite intriguing to watch that, the way that Celtic are playing Nygren in that centre forward role.
So if I was Martin O'Neill, when Celtic are in the build-up phase, ball at the back, Falkirk are really pushing right up to the halfway line, I would be getting the ball into Engels and asking him to hit diagonals for Maeda. Huge area. Yeah,
I think they need to find a way, because at the moment where Nygren playing as that false line, it's allowing Falkirk to suffocate them into, get that press on them, because they've not got an out ball. As you say, there's nothing in behind at the moment, whether it is that long diagonal you're talking about, but certainly not through the middle with Nygren dropping off all the time.
I want to see Engels getting in possession of the ball, just lifting his head and just playing that diagonal to use Maeda's pace. Don't need any skill, just use his raw pace, a sprint right in behind the right back, in and goal.
Kyril Wilson is coming off and will be replaced by Ethan Ross. Ethan Williams is going to be on as well to replace Calvin Miller, both of whom were much more prominent, Tony, in the first half, still putting in a power of work, but I think the tanks are running empty there.
I think so, and I think it's about keeping energy in the team. Again, there's no change of shape, but Ethan Ross, a really talented young footballer I've worked with, and he's got the ability to change this game, to get something for Falkirk. And the other wide player, just like for like, again, the two wide players that went off have done a real shift, and John will be hoping these two come on and give them that energy to continue.
Physically, the hardest position on a football pitch is out in the wide areas. You're expected to be creative and get past fullbacks. Same time, you've got to do the doggy work, running back, defending.
Johnny Kenny, I think, is going to come on for Engels just now, and as you can probably hear in the background, the Falkirk supporters not happy with the length of time Celtic are taking to make this change.
Yeah, and I think you'll find that now it will be more of a natural shape for Celtic, that Johnny Kenny will go up as a centre forward and Nygren will drop into that role where Engels was deployed, and I think that probably will shift the balance of this game, because for me, John, I thought it's Falkirk that are on the ascendancy, but purely and simply because Celtic didn't have a centre forward on the pitch.
Kenny, what he does bring, he's got pace.
He'll threaten him behind. That's his biggest quality.
He'll run. His finishing has been his issue.
Connor Allen, good drive up to the midway points, out to the left hand side, an opportunity for Ethan Ross to drive forward. McCann's a poor touch though. There was an offside flag anyway. It would have been a goal kick, but it will be a free kick to Celtic, who are 11 minutes away plus stoppages from a hard-fought victory. And even if they end up losing this game tonight, Falkirk have shown more than enough to justify their position in the league, sitting 6th, 5 points clear of both Dundee United and Aberdeen, with this game in hand tonight. So even if they were to lose this, there's still that 5-point cushion that they have over those clubs below them, and only 5 points behind Hibs, who they play in their next league game here. Go to Hearts in the Cup on Saturday evening. Here comes Celtic down the right hand side with Nygren. Good reverse ball. Hitate's in the box, pulls it back across, and it's blocked in behind for the corner. Henderson, though he's claiming it came off a Celtic man last, and the ref agrees. I'm not sure the assistant felt that way. Alistair Mather over on the far side. Looked like he was given the corner, but it will be a goal kick to Falkirk, and it will stay 1-0 to Celtic.
That chance started with McCowan. Somebody giving him a bad pass, and he made the bad pass into a good pass, got there, cut it back, delivered it into the box. Well played, McCowan.
Yeah, his work rate's brilliant. Look, you know, he'll always try and win the ball, but I think that was a trademark Celtic move there. You know, Hatate making that half space run, cut back cross, and that's certainly what they're very good at.
Williams with the ball to the left, couldn't quite find his fellow sub. Ross, Trustees wanted too long on it though, he's capable of that, which isn't great from a Celtic point of view. Scales is in trouble, Williams is in, and that's a wonderful save from Schmeichel. How on earth he kept that out with his right boot, just flung it up to make the block, and that is an outstanding piece of goalkeeping. We've been talking about Craig Gordon's wonder save at Dens Park. That is incredible to deny Ethan Williams. Here comes Celtic up the other end. Maida, low ball across. Nygren loses out. Cartwright wins it back. It stays 1-0 to Celtic, and suddenly this game is swinging like a pendulum.
And that could be the difference. That save with Schmeichel with his legs is outstanding. Really poor play by Celtic, you know, giving possession away in poor areas, and they invited Falkirk onto them, and really they should capitalise on that. But fair play, you know, Schmeichel's had a lot of criticism, but he's made a brilliant save for his team there.
Trusty, just giving the ball away, nervous, decision making, hesitant.
That could be a huge moment, not just tonight, but in the grand scheme of things, from Kasper Schmeichel, who's come in for some criticism recently. And what a save it was. Here comes McCann for Falkirk down the left. And a little ball infield to Spencer. Spencer then to Cartwright, just outside the centre circle. Rolls it to his right for Connor Allen, who'll fire it out to Williams, who must have thought he'd equalised on this near side touchline. Back to Allen, then up to Lisa, infield to Cartwright, back to Allen, right of the centre circle in his own half. Shifts it to the left for Henderson, then to McCann. It's a clip ball over the top of Arojo. Spencer gives chase, Arojo gets there first. Trusty with the header away. Still Falkirk battling with Spencer. And Arojo manages to play it forward to McCowan, who switches the play to Tierney. Tierney then with the ball forward. Maida bursting along to get there. He has it. Left hand side of the box. His low ball across is cut out. It was weak anyway. And Bain holds on. It stays Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. But when Martin O'Neill won 7 of those 8 games in his interim spell, Celtic, they weren't playing particularly well, but they were getting the job done. And this comes into that category. If they end up getting 3 points out of this, they just need to chalk it up and not think too much about it, because Falkirk have dominated large spells of this. But if Celtic win the match, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, but Celtic really need to tidy up defensively. I think they've given, you know, it's self-inflicted some of the opportunities that they presented to Falkirk, just by not keeping possession and not looking as secure defensively. So, you know, if they're going to win the game, they need to be better on the defensive side of things.
Tierney's looking really tired as well. He should have been bombing forward. That shouldn't have been a pass backward to Tierney. That should have been a pass forward, but he's looking tired.
Arojo gets it forward into the Falkirk half for McCowan, who was hoping that Maida had moved into a position behind Lisa off to the left. It didn't even get past the Falkirk right back. It's now forward with Cartwright, looking to slip it in behind Arojo. He's done that. Ethan Ross is onto it. Left hand side of the box. 3 waiting in navy and white in the middle. In comes the cross, comes off Trusty's head and knocked behind for the corner by Tierney. The flag's gone up on this near side for offside, so Falkirk will not get the corner, and it will stay Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Celtic free kick.
Tremendous play from Miller over there on the wide left. Looks like he's still full of energy.
It's young Ethan Ross. They brought on, and Ethan, he's a young player I worked with at Aberdeen, and I said that when he came on. Ethan's got real talent, pace, ability. You know, and John's got real belief in him, and he's brought him on the stage of the game, and he's made a real impact. And that was brilliant wing play there, you know, really getting at him. And again, another opportunity. And you can just see a run like that. That's what wingers do. Look at the crowd now, they're all up their feet, and it's just because they took that responsibility as a wide player to get the fullback and get a good delivery in the box.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill and Sean will be nervous on that touchline.
Yeah, because
they're cannot,
given what Hearts are doing at Tynecastle right now. In fact, there's been another goal. Which way has it gone? Brian McLaughlin, this is massive.
It's Hearts 2, St Mirren 0. Substitute Thomas Magnuson with a header after a terrific save by Shamal George. Again, St Mirren lost the ball in midfield. It was Magnuson who picked it up, played the 1-2. There was a shot came in, Shamal George saved it, and there was Magnuson running in to knock the ball into the back of the net. We've now got 10 minutes left to play here at Tynecastle. It's now Hearts 2, St Mirren 0.
They only need 10 men, Tony Docherty.
I think that answers your question about the Hearts' technical credentials, certainly for what they did at the weekend. And you know, I'm no witness and watching the game just now, but real adversity they've faced tonight, and again they've come up trumps. So that's a huge result for Derek and for Hearts.
Yeah, they'll surely go on and win that game now and maintain their 6-point lead at the top. But again, it just underlines the importance for Celtic that they negotiate the last 5 minutes of this themselves. They lead 1-0. Here they come forward. Tierney's ball into the box, headed away by Henderson. Cartwright can't get onto it in this near side. It's with Kieran Tierney. Level with the edge of the D of the Falkirk box. He hits the deck. No free kick. Throw in Falkirk. The Bairns still in this. As that's rolled back. Lisa with the ball in field. It's picked up by Callum McGregor, though. The loose ball now, it's with Hatate. Finds Nygren at the edge of the box. Little reverse ball to Kenny. His effort charged down well by Henderson.
Great
and
challenge.
Out for a throw into Celtic on this near side. The problem for Falkirk is that it's at the wrong end of the pitch. For them at least.
But it's a great challenge by Henderson coming across on his right side there, a left-footed player. It's a really strong challenge in Kenny, who's pulling the trigger to try and score into that opposite corner.
That late first half goal from Benjamin Nygren still separates these two. Tierney's going to win another throw-in on this near side. It's a bit level with the Falkirk penalty spot on the Celtic left. Infield to Hatate. Steps away from Lisa, down towards the corner flag. Pulls it back, but he's given it straight back into Falkirk possession. The ball's played down this right-hand side for Parkinson. First real chance to see him on the ball. The new signing, midway inside the Celtic half, it turns back into traffic, and Maida pinches it back for Celtic and clears it with the right foot down this near side. And getting there first is Lisa, has been one of the players of the match without question. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, Hearts 2, St Mirren 0. Those are the score lines tonight. And that's what I was saying, if Falkirk find an equaliser, then we'll just allow even more daylight between the challengers and league leaders and the current champions.
He's so comfortable in possession, Lisa. Right back to Falkirk. I've been really impressed. I watched his game against Aberdeen, as I said, and I was really impressed. But watching him tonight against Celtic, both defensively and offensively, I've been really impressed by him.
Celtic on the ball over on the right there. It's Nygren on the touchline in field to Hatate. Out it comes to McCowan, down the line for Arojo, who did look offside. You heard John in the background there. Falkirk win it back in any case as they try and come away with it. It's played back to Connor Allen, midway inside his own half. Falkirk fans asking the team to get up the pitch here. Easier said than done at this stage in proceedings, with just 2 of the 90 to play. And Celtic leading 1-0. It's back with Scott Bain just outside his box. So I was saying though, a Falkirk goal, and suddenly Hearts are 8 points clear of Celtic. Rangers are going to have their say as well. They're 6 points adrift. Assuming Hearts go on and finish the job, they are 2-0 up despite being down to 10 against St Mirren. Celtic protecting this slender 1-0 lead at the Falkirk Stadium. Nygren picks up in the midfield, goes back to Scales. Long ball from Liam Scales. Kenny will chase it. Cross here is Henderson. Oh, back heel up the line, comes off Maida and out for a Falkirk throw-in.
Celtic are on the rack here. Celtic are on the rack here. They're not playing it out for the back. They're playing long balls forward. Too many in the middle of the pitch when the centre halves are getting the ball. They're not making themselves available.
Yeah.
Turning their backs on it.
I mean, they've got to see this through from their point of view. If it goes 8 points and they go to Tynecastle a week on Sunday, off the back of that European trip to Italy, I could suddenly, if Hearts win that, an 11-point lead. I mean, it's all ifs and buts, of course, but just shows you how important these last few minutes here are. Falkirk continuing to press. It's Maida on this near side. Falkirk have their own ambitions. And Celtic win it back on this near side. Maida does well. Now it's back with Nygren to the right-hand side. Arojo up the line to McCowan. McCowan's been robbed by McCann, who slides in and just lost sight of the ball, and Celtic get it clear. Leon McCann did well initially on the slide, he couldn't retain possession. The stoppage time's going to be 5 minutes, and we're into the first of them. Falkirk have got 5 minutes left to try and salvage a point out of this, and there's no doubt John McGlynn will feel his side deserves at least that.
I mean, their fitness levels have been tremendous as well. They're still looking the sharper of the two teams, the fitter of the two teams.
Henderson. They do, the momentum of the game's with them at the moment, and they've got 5 minutes to do something about it, but they do look
no
the team.
Foul on Henderson, says the ref. Kenny pulls it back for Hatate, scuffs his shot. Maida back to Hatate, can't get space to find the shot, crowded out. Good defending by Falkirk. Hatate forced wide and out to this near side. Gets it to McGregor, then back to Hatate. That was a chance to seal the deal there.
It's happened a few times to Celtic inside the box. They've just not managed to sort their feet out and get their shots away. With numerous players in that position.
Arojo out to the right hand side, touchline there for Nygren. And back down the line to Arojo. It was all the way back to Schmeichel. We played 1 of the 5 minutes of added time. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Scales steps into the midfield, up to the halfway line, out to the left for Tierney, and then out to Maida on this near side. Maida under pressure from Lisa, foul by Lisa, free kick Celtic, and that will eat away more of the clock as Sean Maloney turns back towards the dugout. Martin O'Neill out there, still cajoling his team through these closing stages. Arojo picks up over on the right hand side, out to the touchline for McCowan, infield to Nygren. Back to Luke McCowan, controls with the undersole and passes it back down the line to Nygren, who shifts it in field to Hatate. Cartwright all over him. Hatate then back into his own half for Trusty. Square ball to Scales. Scales on the halfway line with the green boots. Out to Tierney on this near side. Down the left-hand touchline for Maida. Can't control. Lisa with the challenge. Back from Williams to Allen, who sweeps it back to Bain. Falkirk have got 3 minutes left. Trailing Celtic 1-0. It's with Henderson. It's outside the box for Spencer. The Falkirk captain switches the play out to this right-hand side for Lisa. Falkirk looking for the equaliser they'll feel they deserve. It's with Williams, right of the centre circle for Cartwright. And then out to the near side for Lisa. And then back to Cartwright again. And then to Allen, just on the halfway line. Switches it left of the centre circle for Henderson. Out to McCann. Falkirk have switched it up to the left. Here comes the cross. It's beaten everyone. Tierney will get there first, surely, on this near side, and smashes it up the park as far as he can do. It's now with Allen. Exchanges passes with Spencer. 2 minutes left. 1-0 Celtic. Williams with the cross. It's cut out and cleared by Nygren. The Celtic hold firm, the champions back up against the ropes at times tonight.
I think they're hanging in here. You know, Falkirk can control the game and getting into wide areas.
Spencer to Lisa, he's in space here. Right hand side of the box, a first time ball volleyed across, it bounces off Arojo and behind for a Falkirk corner. Could be a huge moment coming up here. As Falkirk look for an equaliser that could shake things up again at the top of the Premiership.
What a ball that is from Lisa. Whipped in, tremendous pace, just asking for somebody to throw themselves, diving header.
Yeah, I think he's been the best player on the pitch tonight.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. Can Falkirk make something of this? In it comes, it's floated towards the back post. Headed back across, Schmeichel claws at it, gathers it, goes down. Yeah, appeals from the Kevin McAllister stand for something inside the box there for Falkirk. Nothing doing though. And we go into the 5th and final minute of stoppage time here. Celtic leading 1-0. Long ball forward by Schmeichel. Picked up by Cartwright under pressure from Hatate, and he stabs it back to his goalkeeper. Scott Bain has it, right hand side of his box. Rolls it low to Philippe Lisa on this near side. It's a long ball forward, looking for Williams. Scales with his eyes on it, awkward bounce. Scales wins it and clears. Falkirk win it back through Spencer in the centre circle. It's not done yet. Still time, not much of it though, 30 odd seconds. Out to the left hand side for McCann. Down the line, he's going to get it back from Ross. Ross gets it back from McCann down the left hand side. Opportunity here for the Bairns. They're going to get another corner off Trusty. You get another corner.
Brilliant play again from Falkirk, you know, rather than just looking at they're playing good possession football, working into good areas, and now earned themselves a corner, and probably their last chance to get something from the game.
Yeah, and it's brilliant from Louis Marsh to win the corner. This is it now though. This is it now. The 5 minutes have been played. In comes the corner again. It's deep to the back post. It comes off Henderson, behind for the goal kick, and it all comes to nothing. A real anti-climax, and that will be the last chance for Falkirk to salvage something from this game. Celtic are going to win. It's going to be a massive 3 points. Falkirk have been the better side throughout, but the champions have managed to dig it out somehow as Schmeichel prepares to take the goal kick, but the final whistle will go straight after that. He's come in for some criticism as Schmeichel had that loan spell here all those years ago. The referee sounds the full-time whistle, and Celtic have won. And Schmeichel's save in the second half to deny the substitute Ethan Williams has proved crucial, along with Benjamin Nygren's goal with one of the last touches of the first half from Engel's corner, that after Falkirk spurned 3 or 4 superb opportunities to score themselves up the other end. But that's what happens against the champions when you don't take your opportunities. They can punish you. And they did, and it's the Martin O'Neill factor again, isn't it? 9 wins in his 10 games that he's been in charge of this season, and Benjamin Nygren's 12th of the campaign has sealed 3 massive points for Celtic, given the duress they were under for much of the match this evening, and that will move them 3 behind Hearts at the moment, but Hearts are closing in on 3 points themselves tonight. So let's get the closing stages of Hearts 2 St Mirren 0 at Tynecastle with Alan Preston and Alistair Lamont.